Hello. Is it audible, visible? Yeah, I think everything is fine. Yes, okay. Okay. So let's get started. Now, the topic is profit and loss. Now, profit and loss as a chapter is very important for exams like SSC, banking and all. In UPSC we have seen slightly less questions. Okay. Now, let's get started. So, we will deal with this chapter in a very simple way of how questions are asked. Okay. We will not indulge in finding out what are the short ways to do this, that. Why? Because not many questions come from this chapter. So our core core aim will be to understand all the concepts so that if there is a question we are able to solve it. Correct? You don't have to practice all these tricks that can do the question very quickly. You don't need all that. Our focus will be on learning the basic concepts and get done with the chapter. If it were as important as some others like number system or like that, then I would have taken all the tricks. Okay, so now let's get started. First thing, profit and loss. So you might know about this. Profit is what? Whatever, if let's say I'm buying something, that is the cost price, and I'm selling it some price, that is selling price. So the difference between selling price and cost price is profit. This everybody knows, correct? Now profit percent is what? Whatever is the profit, which is selling price minus cost price upon cost price into 100, correct? This is profit percent. Similarly, loss percent. So in loss, what will happen? If I'm buying something at, let's say 100 rupees, I will sell it at a loss. That means I will sell it at 80 rupees, correct? So here loss is cost price minus selling price by cost price into 100. As simple as that. So this is profit percent, this is loss percent. Now let's take an example and understand these three terms now. For example, let's say there is a shopkeeper, okay, and he buys a jacket like this from the wholesaler. He's getting this jacket and he got this for, let's say, 2000 rupees. Now this is the cost to the shopkeeper, and that is why this is called cost price. Now if you go to the shop, of course you won't see 2000 rupees tag, correct? You won't see this. So basically what he does, on this same t-shirt, he will increase the price of it, correct? He will increase the price of it and will, let's say, mark 3000 rupees here. Now mark price is the price that you see on the tag, which is marked on the tag. That is why it is called marked price. So usually whatever is the cost price, shopkeeper increases the price of it and makes it marked price, what you see on the tag. Then eventually, of course, most of us are not buying at the fixed rate price, correct? We ask for discount, this, that. Okay, so now we ask for discount and eventually he gives some discount or whatever, and then eventually he gave this shirt to me for 2500 rupees. Now here the journey of the jacket with the shopkeeper ends. This is the end customer, this is the selling price according to him. At this price he sells it to you. Understood? Now for me, if I become a seller now, okay, if I started selling on Instagram and all, for me this becomes the cost price. This you understand? So cost price, selling price, mark price is always with reference to a particular person. For me this only is the cost price, correct? And then at what price I sell on Instagram, that will become my selling price. So all that goes on. Now, so these are the three terms. This is cost price, this is marked price, and this is selling price. Now if you get these three terms. Now let's see what the shopkeeper is doing here. So he went from cost price to marked price. How? So basically what he did here is called marking up, marking up or marking down. This is called marking up or marking down. So what he does, he marks up the price or he marks down the price. Then next is from marked price you go towards selling price. So what is the change here? Marked price to selling price. Now here you were offered discount. Now apart from the discount, sometimes what you may also face is whatever is the marked price. For example, if you buy let's say Maggie, okay, from a shop. Now if it is a proper shop, what they do, they put a tax over it. Or let's say you buy a plate of biryani, and then after that whatever is the cost of biryani on the menu, over that also you have to give some GST or some taxes. So it is more than the marked price, the selling price. Sometimes when, so instead of discount, what you are giving is tax. Correct? Of course, marking up will be positive, it will increase here. Marking down, it will decrease it. Discount will decrease it from marked price to selling price. Tax will increase. This all you understand? Now this is the new flow that you have understood. Now one flow I hope you already know with this, which is with respect to profit or loss. So this is that flow. So basically I go from cost price to selling price directly. Correct? I skip this mark price thing because ultimately this was just for the shopkeeper to show you that it is at less cost. You can buy it, then you can bargain, then he could give you discount. So this was just something in the intermediate. What are the main points? At the cost which he bought and at the cost at which he sold. And what you have here is profit or loss. Understood? You have here profit or loss. So cost price, and then you change it with profit or loss, you get to selling price. Now this also can be represented in terms of percentages. Okay, now see this. So if I were to write some of them, it will be like this. For example, if I write marked up percentage, what it will be? Marked up percentage will be whatever is the marked price minus the cost price. Now on which price you are marking up? Whatever was the original cost price, on this only you are marking up. So this becomes marked price minus cost price upon cost price into 100. Similarly, for markdown, it will be just opposite, that is CP minus MP. But it will always be calculated. So here you can write down markup or markdown is always on cost price. Then if I ask you about discount, so what you will do? If I ask you about discount percent, what it will be? It will be whatever is the selling price minus whatever is the marked price upon marked price into 100. Correct? Why so? Because discount is always given on this tag. You see the tag and then you ask, what discount are you offering me on this? Correct? So this is discount or tax is always given on marked price. Marked up or marked down is always counted on cost price. And one thing you already know is profit and loss is always on the cost price. Understood? Those formulas we have already read. So these are the formulas. We won't be usually using the formulas. We'll do it in a much more intuitive way. Okay, fine. Understood all the terms and everything. Now let's get started with the questions. Yeah, this is the first. So a person bought a car and sold it for rupees 3 lakh. If he incurred a loss of 20%, then how much did he spend to buy the car? What do you think? No, Shweta. Yes, Dheeraj. Okay, see, I'll tell you this once and then every question you can do like this. First thing, what we do, we always just equate to selling price. Ultimately, whatever question is given to you, it will deal with selling price. Then only there is profit, loss, discount, whatever. So we will always try to equate to selling price. Now, how can you reach selling price? There are many ways. For example, you take cost price, like the example that I took. So cost price was 2000. Then from cost price you apply marked up or marked down, you reach marked price. Then from this marked price you apply discount or tax percent, you reach selling price. This is what we had done, correct? We went from here, it was 2000 rupees, then it became 3000 rupees, marked up and marked down, 500 rupees markup, then it was sold at 2500 rupees. Remember this? So basically this is one path, this and this is the first path you can take. The other two paths are like this. So basically you can go from marked price to selling price. This becomes your second path, that is marked price is given, discount is given, then you have to calculate selling price. Now one more important path is this, that is you go from cost price to selling price directly. That is the third path, using profit or loss percent. Always you just have to equate all these paths. This you can remember by this heart, and then you just have to think from where to where I have to move. As simple as that. Now see how I will use this. Now let's see this question. So now the core of how we solve is equate to selling price. Now if you see this question, this car is bought at 3 lakh, then a loss of 20%. How much did he spend? So if you have seen the diagram, it goes like this. This is cost price, this is marked price, this is selling price. Now which flow I should follow? Profit and loss, correct? So cost price and selling price directly I have to equate. Now how do I reach selling price from cost price? So what I'll write, see, I write here whatever is the cost price, I don't know, I'm trying to calculate it, into 100 plus minus percentage change by 100. Now when it will be plus? When there is profit, then I will consider it plus percentage change. When it is loss, I will consider minus percentage change. This is equals to selling price. That's it. Now you just put the values. So selling price is given as 3 lakh. So now cost price I don't know. What is this? This is loss. Loss means minus. So 100 minus 20 by 100. This is equals to 3 lakh. Correct? That means CP into 100 minus 20 is 80 by 100 is equals to 3 lakh. Now how many times this will go? 4 times, 5 times. Correct? 80 and 100 by 20, 4 and 5 times. You can send 4 and 5 there. So it becomes cost price is equals to 5 by 4 into 3 lakhs. That means what? 5 3s are 15, 15 by 4 lakh, or 15 by 4, that means completely divided 3 times 12, then 3 remains with 30, 4 goes 7 times, 2 remains with 20, it goes 5 times. So I get 3.75 lakh. D is the answer. Understood? Because this was first time, so I have explained it to you in detail. Otherwise what we will do, we will just start going towards selling price. If cost price was given, just cost price into 100 plus minus whatever profit loss percent by 100, reach selling price. Similarly, mark percent is given, then what you will do? Mark percent. If mark percent was given, you do mark percent into 100 minus discount percent by 100. This will become equal to selling price. This is the way. Yes, Aisha. Then here another thing you can note down. If this we have already seen in percentage, if the question and options both are in percentage only, then you can assume any value. Why? Because then it won't change. It is all about percentage. So you can just assume any value, let's say 100 rupees, 1000 rupees, whatever you like, and then try to do it. So there is Gopal, he bought a cell phone and sold it to Ram at 10% profit. Okay, no problem. So let's say Gopal, the cost price for Gopal at what price he bought is 100 rupees. Why I can assume? Because the entire question is in percentage. Then Gopal bought a cell phone and sold it to Ram at 10% profit. So this is the price at which he bought. Then he sold it to Ram. Correct? So cost price for Ram or selling price for Gopal, whatever you want to call it, is 10% profit. So this is plus 10%. Correct? So if 100 rupees is there, plus 10% means what? 110 rupees. Correct? Now, right now, Gopal is happy. He has gained 10 rupees. Correct? So he's happy. Now, next thing. Now it says, then Ram wanted to sell it back to Gopal at 10% loss. So whatever is the cost price for Ram, he wants to sell it back to Gopal. At what price? At 10% loss. So 10% of 110 will be what? 10% of 110. 10% of 110 will be 0, 0 cancel, 0, 0 cancel, will be 11 rupees. So 11 rupees I'll have to subtract. So now the new cost price for Gopal becomes what? Now Gopal bought it for 10% loss. So here 10% loss means 110 minus 11. So that means at 99 rupees Gopal bought it again. So now Gopal, what is Gopal gaining overall? So basically he had 100 rupees thing, correct? Now he had bought something at 100 rupees, eventually something happened, and now that same thing cost him 99 rupees, correct? So what is the difference? Difference is of 1 rupees, that is in 100 if you are counting, that becomes equal to 1%. So he gains 1%. Yes, Shweta. Yes, Dheeraj. No, Daline. Okay, so there is a very clear profit of 1%. Why? Because something that used to cost him 100 rupees now is costing only 99 rupees. That's the only thing you have to see. Then next, this is easy. Try it. A cow costs more than 4 goats. Just assume the cost of cow is C, the cost of goat is G, and solve it. Aisha, this is for last question, I guess. Yes, correct. A cow cost more than 4 goats. So cow, cost of cow is C, cost more than 4 goats. Then, but less than 5 goats. But less than 5 goats. Correct? Now, if a goat cost between 600 and 800 rupees, which of the following is the best conclusion? So basically it is telling you this, and then the goat cost between 600 and 800 per kg. Correct? This is what it is saying. Now see, if cost of goat is this, now you have to tell me what is the range of cow. If you see, a cow costs this to this, a cow costs this to this, correct? So it is talking about range of cow. Now, if a range of cow is being asked, you should take the maximum range, correct? So that it covers all different kinds of cows at whatever cost. So let's try to maximize the range. How can you maximize the range? You will want to make this lower limit as small as possible, correct? So if you want to make it as small as possible, what you will have to do? You will have to take the cost of goat as the least, which is 600 rupees. So then it becomes what? 4 into 600, 4 goats. So 4 into 600, this becomes 2400. So cow will definitely cost more than 2400 rupees. That's for sure. Then here what you should do? You should go for as big as possible. So what you will take? Maximum cost of goat, that is 800 rupees. So this becomes what? 5 into 800, that is 5 into 800, that is 4000 rupees. So the cost of cow is between 2400 and 4000. Yes, D becomes the answer. Yes, Dheeraj. Yes, Shweta. Yes, Satish. No dalne. Okay. Then let's do next. A shopkeeper sells an article at 40 rupees, gets X% profit. However, when he sells it at 20 rupees, he faces the same percentage of loss. Find the original cost of the article. Use that formula. Percentage profit is equals to selling price minus cost price by cost price into 100, and percentage loss is equals to cost price minus selling price upon cost price into 100. That's it. You will get it. Sir, Q less than 50, less than 5. So can we take 5? Q is, what is Q? Q is less than 5. Oh, that you are saying that it is not strictly less than, that you are saying. Okay, so the thing is that it is talking to you about the range. Okay, it is talking about range. So that's why in the option also it says a cow cost between 2400 and 4000. So that means 2400 and 4000 is not included. It is somewhere in between. That's why this range is correct. Okay. Yes, Dheeraj. Yes, Neelam. Yes, Aisha. Okay, now what you have to do? Very simply, I don't know the cost price, so I assume that the cost price is, let's say, C. Now first, profit percent is what it says. A shopkeeper sells an article for 40 rupees, so this is the selling price, and X% profit, this is profit. Okay, however, when he sells it at 20 rupees, okay, he faces the same percentage of loss. Now that means profit percent will be equal to what? I first he's selling at 40, correct? So the initial selling price is 40 minus cost price is, let's say, C, by cost price, let's call it CP only, why I get confused, into 100. This is what? This is X% profit. Now it is saying the same loss is also being experienced, that is same X%. So here what I can write, now in loss percent CP is written first, minus what is the cost selling price. In the loss case the selling price is 20 by cost price into 100. This is for what? This is for X% loss. Okay, now if this is so, what you have to do, very simply you can write here 40 minus CP by CP into 100 is equals to CP minus 20 by CP into 100. Just start cancelling out, 100 cancel, CP cancel, what remains? 40 minus CP is equals to CP minus 20. Now 20 you can send here, CP you can send here. So 40 plus 20, 60 is equals to 2 CP, or CP is equals to 60 by 2, that is 30 rupees. Answer becomes C, 30 rupees. By the way, if you just look at the option, you could have answered this. Why? Because it is asking you what is the original cost of the article. Now, if he was selling at 40 rupees, he was getting some profit. That means the cost price was less than 40 for sure. If he sold at 20 rupees, then he is getting some loss, correct? So that means cost price has to be greater than 20. Now 10 is not there, 20 not there, because then there will be no profit and low loss at 20 rupees, but that is wrong. 40 is not there, only thing that is in between 20 and 40 is 30, so 30 becomes the answer. Yes, Retta. Then now this you have understood that we are always going to equate to selling price. Now one more note point you have to remember, okay, they have asked this once in after 2013 and once before also. So the thing is, if two objects are sold at the same price, one at profit of X% and the other at loss of X%, then the overall there is loss of X square by 100%. Understood? Okay, if the selling price of two things is same, for example, what I am saying is I sold two books at 100 rupees each. Now in one book I gained 10%, and in the other book I lost 10%, correct? Now here if I gained 10%, then what would have been the cost, and here if I lost 10%, what would have been the cost? If you can feel, then you will feel that when he is losing, that means something that was of much higher price than 100 rupees. For that you have to calculate 10%, correct? So the original price would have been, like example, 110 rupees, 120 rupees. From that you have to subtract 10% of this. So larger number you have to take loss for, correct? So that is why overall you will get a loss. Now this you can remember as it is, that is loss of X square by 100% is experienced. Okay, now let's do this question. Sohan, while selling two goats at the same price, makes a profit of 10% on one goat and suffers a loss of 10% on the other. Then overall what has happened? Yes, Veer. Yes, Aisha. Yes, Dheeraj. Yes, everyone is doing it correctly. So basic thing is, this is the same format question. That is, he is selling two goats at the same price. At one he is making 10% profit, and at the other he is facing 10% loss. So overall what he'll face? X square by 100% loss. Now you put the value of 10 here. So what you will get? 10 square by 100, that is 100 by 100, that is 1. So 1% overall loss is what he will experience. That's it. Now if I change the question, you don't have to do anything, okay? Like in CAPF this question was there, instead of goat something else was there, that I don't remember, but the percent here was 20 and 20. Now can you calculate? 20% profit on one, 20% loss on the other. 20% profit on one goat, 20% loss on the other. Yes, most people are getting this also. So basically x square by 100. So in place of x, I will put 20. So this becomes 20 square by 100% loss. 20 square is 400. 400 by 100 is 4% loss. That's it. As simple as this. Now let's move to little better questions. Yeah, this. Think about this. Yes, Aisha. Yes, Shweta. Yes, Shraddha. Yes, Dheeraj. Yes, Veer. Good. Good, everyone. This you do now while buying on Zomato or anything. What you get? Some discount is given, and then they also offer, if you pay by, let's say, Amazon Pay, then you get some cash back. So effectively what discount you are getting, that is being asked. Yes, Ranjan. Yes, Aisha. No Smith. Yes, Veer. No Shraddha. Yes, Satish. Okay, so now see, a person buys an item from a shop for which the shopkeeper offers a 10% discount. So you understand where you're going? You're going from marked price discount to selling price. Correct? This is the flow. So now whatever is the marked price, I don't know. Okay. Now marked price into what is the discount being offered? 10% discount. That means what? 100 minus 10 by 100. Correct? That will be selling price. So this becomes 100 minus 10, that is 90 by 100. Correct? But he's also getting cash back. Now for you, just think for yourself. Okay. Now for you, if you get a cash back, for example, let's say from Amazon Pay, or you get some discount, it means the same thing for you. Correct? So here the cashback of 10% is also like a discount to you. So that also I can multiply here again. 100 minus 10 is 90 by 100. So this is what effectively will be equal to selling price for you effectively. Correct? Now, so MP into 90 into 90. Now, if you have done percentage with me, so what you will do is first you will cancel out, MP into 90 by 100 into 90 by 100, something you only want 100 at the denominator, everything else you cut. So 0 0 cancel, 0 0 cancel. What you get? You get marked price into 9 9s are 81 by 100. Once you get it like this, this changes because of discount. So what you have to do, you just mark it round, you subtract 100 from this. 81 minus 100, what you got? Minus of 19%. Why you got minus? Because this is discount, or it is reducing the price. So answer becomes 19%. Yes, Neelam. Yes, Shweta. Understood? Why you didn't get 20%? This we have also taken that Zomato example in percentage chapter, that why they give you 10% plus 10% discount instead of the 20% discount, because they were gaining 2 rupees. So this is the same concept. Okay, then yeah, do this. Okay, Prashant, thank you. Yes, Veer, this is successive discount. Yes, Veer, you can do it using formula that works for 2 percentages. Okay, just be careful to not apply for 3, like a, b, c, a plus b plus c minus a, b, c by 100, that will be wrong. For 2 it works well. Yes, Satish. Okay, so in this what you can do is you can take two parts like this. So it says a person allows a 10% discount for cash payment from the marked price of a toy. Okay, so that means this is the first movement from marked price to selling price. Then still he makes a 10% gain. Still he makes a 10% gain. So that means gain percent or loss percent, gain is like profit percent, is always from CP. So you go from CP to SP. This is the second flow. Then what is the cost price of the toy, which is marked 770 rupees. So what is our aim? We always equate to selling price. Now let's get started. So I start with mark price into what is the discount? 10% discount. That means what? This is equals to 90 by 100. Now this is equals to selling price. This is one way of reaching selling price. Now another way of reaching selling price is via cost price. So I write here cost price. What is the amount of gain? 10% gain, correct? So that means 110 by 100. 100 plus 10. Why? Because this is profit percent. So 110 by 100. This you can feel, correct? Now SP is common in them. That means this is also directly equal to this. So now you put the values. Now you can put the value of mark price also, which is given as 770. So I put the values here. 770 into 90 by 100 is equals to CP into 110 by 100. Just start cancelling out. 100 cancel. This goes how many times? Let's say 110 and 770. Can you see that this can go directly by 7. 7 times, correct? 110 into 7 is 770. So 1 time and directly 7 times. This is gone. This has become 1. 7 into 90 is 630 rupees. This becomes the cost price. Answer is C. Yes, Aisha. Yes, Veer. Yes, Shweta. Yes, Satish. Yes, Dheeraj. Good, everyone. Then, next. Yeah, think about this. What are you getting? Okay. Shweta C, Runjun C. Okay. No, not C. Yes, Satish. Correct. Smith, correct. No, Veer. Incorrect. Okay. Now, let's see. So it says Rakesh had money to buy 8 mobile headsets of a specific company. Now, now, if I say that I have enough money to buy 8 iPhones, what I'm talking about? Whatever is the marked price of the iPhones, I can buy 8 of them. So that is the amount of money that I have. So I'm drawing, let's say, I draw, this is Rakesh's wallet. This is now. How much money does he have? So it says that he has enough money to buy 8 headsets. So I assume of let marked price of one mobile be, let's call it X. So I assume that the marked price of one mobile be X. Then how much Rakesh has in wallet? In his wallet, he has enough money to buy 8 mobile headsets. That means in Rakesh wallet, he has 8x rupees. This you can feel. Now, so Rakesh is ready to empty his entire wallet. Whatever money he has, he will give. That is 8x rupees he is ready to give. Now, it says, but the retailer offered a very good discount on that particular headset. Then Rakesh could buy 10 mobile headset with the amount he had. What amount he had? 8x rupees. And this is all what he spent to buy 10 headsets. Why? Because some discount was given to him. So this 8x rupees is what Rakesh took out of his pocket and gave it to the seller. So what is this? This is the selling price of 10 headsets. Correct? Because by giving all this money, Rakesh got 10 headsets. So that means this is the selling price of 10 headsets. Now, originally, what would be the mark price of 10 headsets? It will be 10x, then some discount. So discount will be like 100 minus discount percent by 100. This is equals to whatever is the selling price, which is 8x rupees in total, which is what Rakesh has in his wallet. Now, x and x you can very easily cancel out. It becomes 10 and 8. So basically this becomes 4 and this becomes 5. So what you get is 100 minus d by 100 is equals to 4 by 5. Now you know very well how you get 4 by 5. How you get 4 by 5? This is 80%, correct? So that means you can solve it also. You can set 100 here, 5 here. Ultimately d comes out to be 20%. Okay, if you want, you can solve like this also. So this becomes 500 minus 5d is equals to 400. 400 you send here, so it becomes 100 is equals to 5d, and from this d is equals to 20%. So 20% discount is what was offered to him. Yes, Shweta, correct. Yes, Veer, correct. Understood? I have done this in x so that you don't get missed or don't get confused when we take variables. So sometimes in questions what they do, they themselves take variable. Okay, otherwise you can also take it as 10 rupees, 1 rupees and then solve it. Does not matter, because ultimately question is asking you about percentage. Then next, now these are after this, these are some very easy questions. Basically they are not directly profit and loss from the traditional way, but these are from equations. Okay, so equations that are somehow using prices and all, this we have to do. So there are some questions like this we'll try to cover. What I have seen, they have started giving more and more questions like this, which is not strictly profit and loss. Okay. Okay, so this is the question. I have drawn this up in the table form. There are A geography books of X rupees each, A plus 2 history books of X plus 2 rupees each, A minus 2 math book of X minus 2 rupees each. Now, how much do you spend on each of them? So, if let's say one geography book is of 100 rupees, I buy 3 geography books. So, how much I will have to spend? 300. How you calculated this? 3 into 100. It is number of books into cost of one book. So simply A into X, this gives you AX. Then A plus 2 into X plus 2, this becomes what? This becomes A plus 2 into X plus 2. And the last is A minus 2 into X minus 2. So from here you will get AX plus 2X plus 2A. So now then this becomes 2x plus 2a plus 4. Now this one becomes what? This becomes again ax. Now here you will have minus. So minus 2x, then a into minus 2 is minus 2a, minus minus is plus 4. And here you anyway got ax. If you add all of them, now you can very clearly see 2x and 2a will cut down. You will get 3ax and 4 plus 4 is 8. Now 3ax plus 8 becomes the answer. Now see, yes, now see how you could have done this orally is this. What you do, like in that question I told you that 100 plus k, 100 minus k, correct? In that question 2025, how we were looking at the power of k and 10, correct? Similarly you could do here also. So you see that there is a plus 2, x plus 2, a minus 2, x plus x minus 2. So you can identify that 2 into 2 will be 4, and here minus 2 and minus 2 will also be 4, correct? So if I add them, I must have 8. I must have 8, that is a constant without any variable. Gone, 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 answer becomes B. Okay, so this is how you could have done this orally also. That is why seeing the options, especially when you see x and all now, correct? Half the people just by seeing their x, they run away. By seeing x in the question, they would run away. Okay, so basically that is why they give questions like this. Just try to see what is the dimension, what is the power of x. For example, you see x cube minus a cube. Of course, this is wrong. So like this, you can cancel out. Then let's do more. This is from 2024. Yes, Aisha. Yes, Satish, Veer, Dheeraj, Shweta, Runjun, all correct. Okay, now let's see. It says the total cost of 4 oranges, 6 mangoes and 8 apples is equal to twice the total of 1 orange, 2 mangoes and 5 apples. Consider the following statement. Now, first thing, whenever you get questions like this, assume the variables directly as the first letters. So this is that orange cost O, I have drawn O like this, then mango is M, then apple is A, correct? O, M and A. Now, first thing, it is written that 4 oranges plus 6 mangoes plus 8 apples cost is equal to twice the total cost of, that is 2 times the cost of what? 1 orange. So 1 orange is simply O plus 2 mangoes, so 2m plus 5 apples plus 5 apples. Now, first thing, whenever you see questions like this, see ultimately this is the only given equation. The other two are statements that you have to check based on this. So first just simplify this equation. That itself solves most of the questions. So what you do? You simplify this. How you simplify this? So collect thetas. So theta, no, not theta. This is O. So 4O and 2O. I said O there. So this becomes what? This becomes 4O minus 2O is 2O. Then plus 6m. 2 into 2 is 4. So 6 minus 4 is 2m. Then let's send A also. So 8A. This is 2 into 5. That is 10A. So 8A minus 10A, 8A minus 10A is minus 2A. This is equals to 0. Now, can you see? I can just remove 2 from all of them. So this becomes what? O plus M is equals to A. That is price of orange plus price of mango is equals to price of apple. Now, if you read the second statement, the total cost of one orange and one mango is equal to cost of one apple. So this you got directly. Correct? Now, let's check the first statement as well. So, first statement, what it says? It says the cost of 3 oranges, okay, plus 5 mangoes, okay, plus 9 apples, okay, is equal to cost of 4 oranges plus 6 mangoes plus 8 apples. Correct? Now, I will just send this orange that side and this M also that side, A I will bring this side. So what it becomes? 4 orange minus 3 orange is orange, then 6M minus 5M becomes 1M, 9A minus 8A, 9A minus 8A, 8A I am sending there becomes A. So what you got? A is equals to theta plus M. Isn't this the same? Correct? So this equation also is same as the original given statement. So this is also correct. Answer becomes what? Answer becomes both 1 and 2 are correct. Yes, Shraddha, Dheeraj. Yes, Niharika. Good afternoon. Okay, then. Let's try this. This is a good question. Now, see how we solve questions like this. P asked one of his 3 friends X, Y, X as to how much money he had. Now, see how you solve this. You first assume that they have X, Y and Z rupees. Now, you start solving it according to scenarios. Okay, so now see, P asked one of his 3 friends how much money they had. X replied. Correct? Now we are going in hypotheticals. That is, first, if Y gives me 40, then Y will have half as much as Z. This is done. This is the first part. Correct? This is the first scenario. So let's take the first scenario. It says Y gives me 40. So that means Y will start having 40 less. Correct? Because Y gave 40 rupees from his wallet to him. So he has 40 rupees less in his wallet. Now, X has 40 more because he got 40. Correct? He is happy. So X plus 40. What happened to Z in this scenario? Nothing. Nothing happened to Z. So Z remains as it is. Fine. Now, it says then Y will have half as much as Z. So first you write what is the new variables. So initial variables were X, Y, Z. Then After first step, after first scenario, the new variables become x plus 40, y minus z, y minus 40 and z. Now for this some equation may be given. So according to the question, it says y will have, now in for this, these are your new variables for your equation. Don't look at x, y, z now. Now y will have half as much as z. So what y has now? Y has 40, y minus 40, which is half as much as z has. Please be very careful that you don't mix up variables. This is scenario 1. So scenario 1 is done. Now scenario 2. Now it says but if. So now if you read but if, from here scenario 2 starts. So don't jump from here. You have to again think from x, y, z and then write the second scenario. So now it says but if z gives me 40 rupees. Z gives me 40 rupees. Who is saying? Still x is talking, correct? So x will get 40 more. So x plus 40 and z will have 40 less, correct? Because he gave 40 to z. Then what happens to y? What happens to y? Y remains as it is. As it is as y minus 40? No, as it is as y. Why? Because these are the original variables. Scenario 2 and scenario 1 are independent of each other, correct? So this becomes x plus 40, y, z minus 40. Now it is given, then 3 of us will have equal amount. So all 3 of them will have equal amount. That means what? From here you get the equation that x plus 40 is equals to y is equals to z minus 40, correct? Now you have, this is how many equation? This is 1 equation, 2 equation, 3 equation, this is 4 equation. So one of them must be common, okay? Now so there are enough equations. I see y and z here, so I try to replace it here. Y is equals to z minus 40, I put it here. So what I'll get? Y z minus 40. So z minus 40 minus 40 is equals to z by 2, that is z minus 80. So z minus 80 is equals to z by 2. Z by 2 I can send here. So this becomes z by 2 is equals to 80, or z is equals to 2 into 80, that is 160 rupees. Now you have found z. Can I put it here? So this becomes 160 minus 40, that is 120. So y is equals to 120. Now if y is 120, what is x? 40 less than y, correct? So 120 minus 40, so this x becomes 80. Now you can just add them. This is what is asked. What is the total amount of money that all 3 of them together have? So this becomes 120 plus 80 is 200, 200 plus 160 is 360 rupees. B becomes the answer. Yes, Dheeraj. Yes, Shruta. Okay, please do it in this sequence until and unless you become very good at it. Otherwise, I've seen students doing mistakes with respect to variables constantly. Okay, so don't do this. They keep mixing it up. Take the scenario 1. Please write the variables. See, try to improve this solving part much more quickly instead of skipping this. Okay, then this is an easy question. Do it. Very simple. Every student contributes as many rupees as there are students in the class. So what you have to do? See, if there are n students in the class, then see what the first student will give. First student will give n rupees. What the second student will give? He will also give n rupees. What the third student, what the fourth student, what the nth student will give? He will also give n rupees. Now if I add them all, what I will get? N plus n plus n plus n plus n. How many times? N I have to add how many times? N times. So ultimately what is this? N into n, that is n square. So n square rupees would have been collected, but it says with an additional contribution of rupees 2 by one student only, the collection becomes 443. So apart from the n square, which is the usual, 2 rupees more was given by one student. He got some 2 rupees more from his parents. He gave that also. So n square plus 2. Now the total collection is 443. So n square becomes what? 443 minus 2, that is 441. That is why you should remember squares of number even if you don't know. So 441 is square of what? What square? You can see the last digit. 1 square will give you 1. So 21 is the answer. Yes, Aisha, Smith, Dheeraj, Shraddha, good. Okay, then. Okay, this is just calculation. This is your homework. Last. Do this. 2024. This is just too simple. Okay, it was so simple that student got confused in the exam hall. Yes, yes, everybody is getting it correct. Of course, if you see, water is of no cost. So if originally 100 rupees honey was there, now this is the cost price, correct? Now how much he should mix it? How much? What must be 20% by selling it at cost price. Now what is the profit that is being talked about? 20%. 20% on this cost price is actually 20 rupees, correct? So what should be the selling price? Selling price should be cost price plus profit, that is 120 rupees. Now why did he gain this 20 rupees profit? Because of adding water. So how much water he should add? How much water he should add? 20. For example, if it is an ml, then 20 ml in 100 ml is what he should be adding. What percent this becomes? Of course, this becomes 20%. All this solving also I am doing it for you. Otherwise, you can just see and tell. Yes, everybody could see and tell. Very good. Okay, so this is it for profit and loss. Next week, we'll be starting with number system. The next week belongs to number system completely. Okay, please attend those lectures. Leave comments and all on Twitter especially. Okay, that's it. Thank you.